Welcome back to another episode of the NCAA 14 college football season Dynasty with the UMASS MINUTEMEN. I want to say thank you all. I know I'm trying to get better at being a little bit more consistent, but again, doing stand-up, owning my own business. I have other things that pull me, but I always got time for you. So last time we left off, it's bowl season, so just going to go through a couple bowls. I felt like this was a really interesting season, mostly because the new bowl changes as far as team alignments. It was interesting, like seeing certain teams that normally aren't in certain positions, but it's good. I like that. And like I stated before, along the way through this franchise, I know that with such things like up to this date, Stanford just joined the ACC, as well as Cal and SMU. So I'll try to make those changes as much as I can, but I also want to have continuity. And what I mean by that is just simply like making sure that it's equal. Like I don't want to have one super conference and no conference have enough players. So hopefully we'll get to see. But that was interesting. Ohio State and Oregon State in the national championship game. That was something interesting. Seeing schools like Maryland, Boston College make it and then do well. Even Maryland, let's see, some other schools, UCF, Auburn. Actually, Texas, for example, doing substantially well. I think that with this new alignment, it creates, it was North Carolina and Alabama, which, okay, I'm not genuinely surprised. So All-American wise, not surprised at the list. I don't see any UMass players, at least for the next season or two, just because we went 1-11 and we're still developing. And my biggest goal for this next offseason, by this time, I want to have at least a few All-Americans, maybe hell, even a Heisman or Coach of the Year. So, pretty straightforward. I think that, as a team this year, we really needed to work on just recruiting. That's all I wanted to focus on. I wanted to make sure that, our team really has the opportunity to get players that can become All-Americans and hopefully first, second round, third, so on and so on, draft picks. Now, it's interesting when you look at this to see, again, like, I wondered if the All-American, All-Conference, what that was going to look like because, again, like, you got guys that played in different conferences, possibly being all conference players or not conference players. And what's interesting is seeing that development. I wonder how that's going to affect recruiting in the future. I wonder how that's going to affect overall gameplay because this first season it was a mix, but I feel like maybe 3-4 seasons in, you'll see, especially for conferences like the Pac-12, that's a whole new conference with a bunch of different players. Seeing how Texas, Oklahoma panned out. The Big Ten especially because it has so many new factors. And even for the smaller conferences, Conference USA, Conference America. So in our first season, we went 1-11. Not super surprised, but hey, that's the point. We knew things would work out. So let's go on to recruiting now. First, let's get this 3-star quarterback because I feel like any franchise, your quarterback is the centerfold of that. And, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of the fact that our team really focused on recruiting, junior college players. I know that's not like sexy or that's not going to get us in the top 25 recruiting classes, but it's all about efficiency. I would rather recruit guys that are effective than just getting numbers because the numbers will speak for itself. Again, it's not sexy, but I think it's important as a franchise, as a school, that we focus on academics, we focus on getting the right people in, and then once the right people get in the door, then we can focus on getting top, 25 recruiting classes, at least in the top 50. That's like my goal. Obviously, top 10, but at least for the next 2 to 3 years, if we can get a top 50, 25, I could live with that. Because what that does for our team is it allows us to make those adjustments, and really just focus. Like, there's no reason why UMass in the next few years shouldn't be a top 25 program. And the only thing that's hurting us is ourselves. So let's focus on these things. Let's engage. So right now we're going in the week before signing day, looking through guys. These junior college guys aren't bad. 72. I feel like with the junior college players, we can go far and they can immediately play. And the biggest pitch we had recruiting this year was simply, you come in, plug and play you. Like other schools, you might have to sit out, or other schools, you might have to develop a red shirt. Nope. If you're young, hungry, or you're a seasoned JUCO and you just want to get your name out there, come to our school. Give our school the opportunity to showcase your skills. That's why I think I like Deion Sanders, because he allowed that. All right, this is our final recruiting week. Not bad. We got a couple of, I think, 2 or 3 4-star players, but all these guys are 70 and above, which is what we needed. The junior college guys, Vision's a really good 4-star sophomore. Fonatant, really good, but definitely that 4-star quarterback, Mike Williams, which I like to make adjustments on players. And one thing I really want to introduce, especially in this series, is that we're going to hook it up to Madden 25. So that's our recruiting class. 4 4-star recruits. That's not bad. A couple of 3s and 2s. We're 43 in the country. That's great. Top 50. Super proud for a 1-11 program. I think a lot of these recruits knew where we're going. They saw the vision. They want to invest as much as we want to invest. And I'm cool with that. I felt like we could have got a few more players. But, again, Sean Sanders, shout out to him, our first, our first ever recruit. All right, let's go into, Mike Williams is a bust. We'll work on that. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with him and develop. But Blake Chapman's our returning quarterback. Did okay. Did 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. We could have did a little bit better, but we'll see how that turns out in the future. Preston Humphreys, Visions, Fonatant from Kentucky. Man, I think if we can keep this pace and we can keep recruiting and selling our vision what the future could be, I think that's great. I think, again, another reason why we had a big recruiting class was because, we're telling these kids, hey, you come here, you can play all over the country, especially with the new conference alignments. Things are going to change. Now, with position changes, how I like to keep at least 2 or 3 offensive linemen, 4 quarterbacks, maybe 4 or 5 running backs, 6 to 8 receivers, 3 or 4 tight ends, defensive line at least 3. Now, because we're in a 3-4 defense this year, I'm only going to keep 2 defensive tackles, and 3 or 4, depending on recruiting, defensive ends, middle linebackers 4 because we run a 3-4. I'm sorry. So now what we have to do is have 4 linebackers because 2 are going to be playing at a time. And then let's say about same amount of corners as receivers, 6 to 8, 3 safeties, 3 strong, 3 free safeties, 1 kicker, and 1 punter. So, this is the hardest part, but my favorite part about position changes is you just allow guys to change. So, Zach McCullough, defensive end, Fonatant definitely staying where he's at, Sean Sanders. Now, what's great about defensive ends, which, in my experience, defensive ends, wide receivers are 2 of the most abundant positions in NCAA. So, what we can do is, let's say one year we recruit more defensive ends than linebackers. So that's okay. We'll put a defensive lineman at linebacker. And also for outside linebacker, I like to do 3 or 4. Same thing, you have several different guys rushing, and you allow them to just make changes and be a part of the defense. I think this defense we're having is more inclusive. I think the defense we have set up we're allowing more players to play. We're giving more guys access to the field taking out one defensive tackle. Same for offense. I feel like with offense, we run a very spread offense. Sometimes we'll have two running backs in the backfield, or sometimes we'll have 5 receivers on the field, 2 tight ends. We're just open to so many different looks that, if you come in as a freshman or you come in as a junior college, you'll be able to maneuver and play very well. And, it's hard for a team like ours because I want to redshirt. I want to allow guys to have that time to develop, but at our current state, not everyone is going to get the opportunity to redshirt, but it's cool. Like, we're not trying to necessarily hinder someone's progress, but we want to do what's best for the team, especially for the junior college guys. Like, we have a few guys that are sophomores, but for those juniors, give them an extra year. Give them 3 years of college eligibility. They come from high school, junior college, especially with junior college. They're already used to some type of college structure. So what we try to do is give them that opportunity to really develop. Now, like I said, we want to transfer NCAA to NCAA. So we're going to have I'm calling it a tale of 2 quarterbacks. So a quarterback, we try to recruit Matt Williams, which I might change his name depending on how I feel. But what we'll do is it will be him from Missouri, because that gives Missouri an opportunity to succeed. It honestly, and if this is my opinion, especially in the Pac-12, they'll have some type of stability, and I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be cool to track these 2 players. We might not focus on Missouri necessarily, freshman, sophomore year, but definitely at least by his senior year, we'll track the 2 players, and, we'll call it a race for the number 1 overall draft pick. Because right now, I haven't uploaded it yet, but I'm thinking about signing a player from this franchise to be my number 1 quarterback. The team I picked was the Rams, not because of traditionally the Rams suck, but more like it's 2013. So they had James Laurinaitis, Jared Cook, Sam Bradford. So they had the most draft collateral, the most amount of young players that I felt like, okay, I can trade them, get first, second, third round picks or multiple picks from, and I felt like that was the biggest key. And I didn't really want to disturb the order of the NFL, because I feel like I like picking teams that it's easy to just let go of guys, and it's an even trade. You give us a draft pick, we give you a young player. Even if it doesn't work out, you get an upfront guaranteed initial investment. A draft pick is anything, so it's a hope and a wish, but we'll take that. And anyways, with Matt Williams, we want to make him really cold. We want to, and I'm really mad because I really wanted him. I really wanted to recruit him. I think we were his second or third option, but hey, now if he will start, I don't know. And I'd actually be curious to see how Missouri, because originally they were in the Big 12, then up until this last season on the franchise, they were in the SEC. Now they're in the Pac-12. Seeing how they'll do. Just because Missouri was in the SEC, that doesn't mean they'll do well. And I'd say that for any team. Especially going into this, what you've done previously doesn't matter. It's what you do with the adjustments. And I think that a lot of teams in that Pac-12 could, in the future, potentially bid or place for a national championship, which in this series, it's different from current times, because currently we're in it's a 4-team playoff, but we're going to eventually, I'm saying I actually have a say in the NCAA, but they will expand to more than 12 teams, but right now it's the BCS, which is simple. If you lose at least 1 or 2 games, you can make it, but no more than 2. So, all right, now it is time for us to have and build our franchise quarterback. which is great because we have a decent list of receivers. Joe Joseph, one of our 4-star recruits, he is third string now. We do have Mike Visions, which is our junior college sophomore star running back. Just going through the roster, making sure there's an accurate amount of guys that are being looked at. So right now, we're Terrence Jones. We're switching numbers around. I like to make sure numbers are even, that players are able to really I don't always just auto-generate. I try to look at a player, and I know you're like, it's just a video game. But no, for real, like I like to look at players and say, okay, like what's best for you? What can you do? And, some people might say it's cheating a little. But, for example, in this situation, well, he's a 73 defensive end, so I'll give him a 73 as a linebacker. I'm not going to do this super often. Biggest thing I try to change is weight and size. It just depends, but we're a really subpar team, so I feel like in this instance, this 1 or 2 times, I'm okay with it, but I'm not going to consistently just make guys 99 overall. This is more of a social experiment. So for Mike Visions, keep the name. I do want to change his jersey number. I think 34 is more of a linebacker number. He had 33, 34. I'm thinking 24. I think that's a good number for him. I think that's a solid number. He's a power back, so maybe he could be a Marshawn Lynch, or I don't really know any other 24. I think Noshawn Moreno, but that's college. Just giving our team, our players, I feel like I'd want to be the kind of coach that if a player says, hey, I want to switch numbers, or, I want to have this equipment, I would work with them to make sure they had every opportunity to succeed. And, I know some coaches and players might just be like, you get what you get. But no, like I want to give certain players, especially if I see something, like I know it's a video game, but I feel like even in a video game, you can really see when a player is good, or you can kind of see, hey, man, this person has personality or a class. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what these new recruits do for us in the future, see what they can provide to the team. Got to build up those muscles, arm strength, especially because as a running back, And I like the long sleeves on him because, I know they have pads. They don't have the tape like it's popular now. Like it wasn't when I was, I graduated high school in 2012, but like the tape that goes on the triceps. I feel like this is good. I got to give him gloves. I know, some people don't like wearing gloves, but I feel like if you play for this program, give yourself every opportunity to catch the football or have some grip. I know that this person is from Alaska, which is funny. I don't know much about high school football in the state of Alaska. Is it good? Is it terrible? I would love to know. I might actually YouTube that. I might actually YouTube later and see what high school football in Alaska is. But we're in Massachusetts now. Massachusetts. Is it Massachusetts? Massachusetts. I feel like it's one of those words. It's like choo. But anyways, we're in UMASS, and in UMASS we like gloves. Maybe if you're more of a defensive player, I'll let it slide, or quarterback. But now, if you're a position skill player specifically, nah, man, you gotta wear gloves. Which is crazy because like I see a lot of young players, they don't have gloves now, which was different because when I was coming up, in football, everyone had gloves. Like gloves was like your swag. It was a part of who you are. happened, baby?
This girl, these girls be rapping for Gucci Man. He be throwing them under the bus.
What do you mean?
Um,
What do you mean?
they be struggling for real.
Like they be struggling that bad?
This man is smart. That black guy I be showing you. So now he has mini. Now he's doing like a mini series where he makes his mini cast iron skillet and drink mini drinks. It's funny. He's so smart. Look at that. Look at that fish he's cooking. Look.
Yeah.
I just hope he works out. He drinks like every day.
You bring that up. Why are you apologizing?
You know you want to finish that with him.
He said not her view, but her what? Not the view, but not her view, but her fucking